D. McClung here. Archer Monologues. Monday, August 22nd, 2016. Time flies. Phew. It was just, like a minute ago. It was like this morning. And, like it just seems like yesterday that it was yesterday, actually. But seriously, it seems to me like it was just the other day that I was actually young, like, like in my 40s and 50s, and all my body parts were intact, and they actually functioned, tip top. Can't say that now. I'm actually missing body parts. It just never really occurred to me that I would have body parts removed from my body. You could say that was probably like maybe a delusion. A delusion, as Lewis Black would say. Delusion. Because I was suffering under the delusion that, I would live and grow old and die of some ancient age with all my body parts intact. I guess in modern age, with modern science and modern medicines and so forth, you can lose body parts and do just fine. I didn't think, I thought maybe I could keep most of my hair, on top of my head, and I have so far kept most of it. Like about 98% of it. I think, Kelly, that statistic's not really accurate scientifically or biologically. I lose a few hairs every day. The question is, do they grow back? It seems like they do, because there's a lot of hair up there, which is rather long, because I've always had rather long hair. I say rather long, relatively speaking. Long as opposed to a crew cut or buzz cut or whatever they call it these days. It's I got hair, and I think I'm pretty good shape with the hair department. Anyway, where was I? It was just yesterday. Yeah. Just yesterday I was saying to myself, it just seems like it was just yesterday. Well, it is yesterday now. And today is well on its way to becoming yesterday. History. So, what I want to talk about here today is this unpleasant situation called getting older. Say what you will. If it wasn't for getting older, you'd be like getting deader. I'm thinking, for example, if I wasn't today older than yesterday, then I would have probably have to say that I was dead yesterday or died last night or whatever, and so I wouldn't be here today talking to you. So I guess getting older is probably a good thing. You just can't stop that process, I don't think. Sometimes I wish I could. I wish I could just say, hey, hold still for a minute, people. Just freeze that time frame, and The foolishness of that, of course, is that I think, oh, let's just freeze time, but everything else could just keep going. Stop the clock, but everybody keep moving and going about their business and just doing what they normally do. That would mean that I would like traveling to time, right? Traveling through time. Wow, it's time is still. This is still Monday, the 22nd at 11:46 a.m. Even though I've been sitting here talking to you for an hour. It's a strange concept, I think. Oh, we got heavy equipment going by out on the street in front of the house. Anyways, time. All right, so let me take a break and I'll be back in a minute. How do you like those commercial breaks? No commercials. Ha! All right. I got a pleasant surprise yesterday. I posted something to my Facebook page, and which is Facebook, D. McClung, and the response was overwhelming. It seems I started a discussion by posting my little bit about Elizabeth Smart and her ordeal, and her, well, the important issue here was the fact that Elizabeth Smart has begun a campaign against porn. She has become, shall we say, an anti-porn-zealot. Now, I sympathize with her unpleasant situation of the past. I feel sorry for her that she had to endure that horrendous experience. I can only imagine how horrible it was for her. Those 9 months she was in captivity and raped by a freaking lunatic. Anyway, the point is that just because she's had an unpleasant situation, a bad experience with a lunatic, that happened to be looking at porn mags, somehow that affected her treatment by him. Apparently, he looked at the porn and said, gee, that's really a turn on. I think I want to do that with you, Elizabeth. And thus engaged in some, sexual, anyway, that's the point. The point isn't the fact that she had the ordeal, that she survived the ordeal. I mean, that's great that she survived it, and hopefully she is not too mentally scarred by the experience, that she is able to live a normal life from here on out, and whatever that life may entail. But the fact that she's got a campaign against pornography going, she's only one person. So, I doubt seriously if that one person, just Elizabeth Smart herself, is going to get pornography wiped off the face of the earth, or banned, or made illegal, or what have you. But still, she may be an inspiration for a lot more people who may be zealots to the extreme and have some influence over the American society. If you get that bandwagon going, if you get that zealots crusade any footing in society, then you're going to have a lot of problems. And I don't mean just problems with the things you would expect. You're going to have big problems. As if we don't have big problems already. But the point I'm making here is that she's certainly has a right to her opinions and her views, and she has the right to engage in activities that she believes in. Unfortunately, she has chosen to attack pornography in general and pretty much say that she's waging a war against pornography, and that's not a good thing. The unfortunate part about that is that it might have influence on society in a very negative way. But I just wanted to say this. There's nothing wrong with pornography. And just because some criminally insane maniac abducted her and raped her over a period of 9 months, like I said, I can imagine, but I can't really know how horrible that was for her. I would not wish such things on anyone. But the fact that he had a magazine that had pornographic images in it doesn't really, how do I put it? That's not my concern. That's my concern here. I mean, it's not my concern directly because many people look at porn. Magazine, images, pictures, videos on the internet. It's very prevalent. I did one time check and found that there was something like 32 million porn sites on the internet. That's a lot. And that's not even counting the books and movies and various other means of expressing sexual concepts. Nothing wrong with porn. Porn is an outlet for human sexual instincts, necessities, needs, wants, desires, lusts. And sometimes it's just physical relief from the sexual urges that people have. All people have some degree of sexual urges, I would think. Biologically speaking, the numbers are way up there in the majority of people. There may be a few eunuchs around. There may be some people that are non-sexual in a mental situation and physically incapable of having sexual experiences, limited by social circumstances and so on. But generally speaking, it's just human nature to want to be stimulated sexually one way or another, either physically by themselves, commonly known as masturbation, and men do it, women do it, teenagers do it. Oh, teenagers do it a lot. Probably more often as a teenager than at any other point in their lives. Nothing wrong with that either. It's the nature of things, and it's not good to fuck with Mother Nature, so to speak. Passing laws to ban it, pornography or masturbation, or I'm thinking of the Catholic Church here, those bloomin' freaking idiots. And if you're a Catholic and you're listening and you're a Catholic, then I'm talking about you. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. You're a bloomin' idiot if you go along with that. Hey, masturbation's a sin. Bullshit. That idea should have gone out of vogue, back in the 1500s, as well as the rest of Christianity. Won't get into that one here now. But the fact of the matter is, porn is porn. It's good. I know what the word means. I know what the definition of the word is. I know what porn is. And it's not, oh, I know it when I see it. It's, I know what it is even if I don't see it. I understand English. And pornography is an English word. And I'll tell you what it means. The unofficial definition, I'm not going to quote the dictionary here. Pornography is an image or video or literature that was intentionally created by the artist or by the, let's just say, the producer of that thing, like porn videos, for example. Intentionally created with the intention of arousing your sexuality. If for example, if you make a porn video and it is your intentions to have people see that porn video and be sexually aroused, then you could rightfully call that porn. By the way, I write porn. Among other things that I do. And I'm very good at it. In fact, I write better porn than most people who write porn. That's my personal opinion. But that's based on some credible evidence. I'll just leave it as an opinion at this point. However, the fact is, pornography is useful. Nope. Got ahead of myself. The definition. If I make an image that depicts, that means it's a photograph. It's an inanimate object. It's not a person. Photographs are not people. Like a picture of a tree is not a tree. In reality, it's just light reflected off a color on a page or a monitor screen. Pornography. Images, photographs, no matter what they depict, are not the thing that is depicted. For example, a picture of a nude person is of, that's an important word, of. So people just skim right over that when they read it, and they're like totally illiterate, and or mostly illiterate. Most people are somewhat illiterate, in America anyway, because they apparently don't teach people how to read and understand English in American schools. Among the other nasty things that public schools do in America. Like indoctrinate children and adolescents with bullshit, thus ruining their brains forever, usually. Alright, so the definition of porn is, if I make an image, if I say I shoot a video, and it is my intention that if you view that video, it turns you on. It gives you some physical reaction, like response to what you're looking at. Men like the visuals. Possibly more so than females. I say possibly. My evaluation of the situation in American society is that more men like porn than women. Like to watch it and do the ultimate or the inevitable masturbation gig while watching it. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody's a victim, and don't try to tell me it's that there's some sort of victim. That's just fucking bullshit. So understand that. If I make a video, let's go back. Let's just say I make an image, a photographic image, a digital photographic image, because we've got digital cameras and stuff now. And I make that image, and that image depicts two people engaging in sexual activities. If I do that, if I make a video like that, it could be porn and maybe not porn. There are all kinds of ways of defining that particular image. It could very well be just simply a work of art depicting human nature, human behavior, biological function, two people having sexual intercourse. It's an image of them engaging in sexual intercourse. There's no people actually there on that piece of paper, fucking. It's just, it's an illusion. The mind works in a particular way, and looking at something is just simply looking at it, and if your dick gets hard, if you're a guy and you want to play with it and jerk it off and shoot your cum all over the freaking picture, that's your business. It's fairly natural. It's pretty much just plain old human nature. It's the way people are. Of course, people try to convince us that nature is bad and that we shouldn't, obey the rules of nature. Those people are insane. And if they try to interfere with other people's lives and what they do in personal, private time and their own personal space is criminally insane, in my view. And motorcycle or something. I get a lot of traffic noise here. It's no biggie. Because I'm a real person and I live in a real place where there's a real road and real cars and trucks and motorcycles and stuff go by. It's the nature of where I live. So, if I produce that picture, and all my intention were in producing that picture was to present to you an image that I thought was beautiful or pleasing or a representation of human nature, human behavior, human sexuality. And no, you can look at it all you want. You can get a hard on all you want. Your tits can seep milk as a result of looking at it. Or whatever. No, it's not porn. Because my intention was not to arouse you sexually. My intention was simply to show you an image of human behavior, which is perfectly common, perfectly normal, and perfectly within the laws of nature. And I might add, perfectly legal. Sex is not a crime. And I don't care what the circumstances are. Sex in itself is simply a biological function. A human biological function. If you look at a picture of a tree and you get turned on, then hey, that's your gig, but that's on you. The tree had nothing to do with that. The tree is not pornography. It's because you got a hard on looking at a tree. I can't imagine that happening, but I suppose it's possible. So if you're looking at a picture of two people having sexual intercourse, and it's pretty obvious, there's the dick, there it is, hard on, sticking out, poking in that pussy hole. I'm sorry, that's just human nature. That's just what people do. That's the freaking purpose and existence, really, biologically speaking. You're born, you mature, you find someone to have sex with, and you reproduce, pass the genes on. The DNA moved on to another generation. That's the purpose of being alive, if you need a purpose. and come up with all kind of grand romantic ideas of what your life is for and what its purpose is and what the meaning of life is to you. But that's just the basic biological fact. You're born, you mature, you become a sexual being at about the age of 10, 12, 13 or so. You've always been a sexual being. You're a sexual being when you're born. I'm talking about maturity. Evolving into an adult. The process of becoming an adult through puberty, adolescence. Oh, let me just say this, just to get this out of the way. I'm talking to you, I'm telling you something that is true. It's not just my opinion. It is a biological fact. It is an observation of reality. If you have trouble with reality, if you prefer to live in delusional land, that's up to you. But let's be realistic here. I mean, at least try to be logical. I know that the public education system in America does not teach people to think, doesn't teach them to think rationally and logically. They don't use the brain as the brain was intended to be used by Mother Nature. Pornography. If I produce a picture, and all I want you to do is look at that picture and observe what's in the picture, what the image is, and represents, because pictures are symbols of perhaps reality. They represent something that you might recognize when you look at it. Oh, there's two people, and they're butt naked, and there's a dick, and there's a vagina, and tits. It's just a depiction, a representation of what really happens in real life. If I do that, if I just present you a scientific representation of two people having sex, then I have simply given you, a biological representation of the biological nature of human beings. It's a part of life. It's what people do. I think most people want to, particularly if you're over 12. So, pornography is something produced with the intentions of arousing the viewer sexually, or the reader if it's literature. If that wasn't my intention, suppose I'm a person in the medical field, a scientist, a scientist in biology. Then I want to present. I saw a video. I'll tell you this. I saw a video on YouTube the other day. The title of it was "How to Put on a Condom," and it was very graphic. There was a male person. Didn't see his face. Just saw his genitals in that area, and he had an erection. And took a condom and rolled that thing right over it. And it was an educational video. I thought it was odd. There's like 12 million views of this video. So obviously there are 12 million people out there that wanted to see, watch some guy put a condom on. Now, if you didn't know how to put a condom on, maybe that was educational. You learned something by watching that. I mean, here's a penis. In this case, an erect penis, what we would like to call, in common language, a dick, a cock, prick, a phallus, an instrument of great pleasure for men and women. So, it was an educational video. It was not porn. Now, if you look at that, and, if you're, let's say you're a girl, and you're like, oh my God, look at that dick. Wow, it's big and hard and shit. And sure would like to have that in my pussy. Or whatever, wherever, whatever hole you prefer. Or all three, if you're into that sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about. Mouth, pussy, ass. If that's your thing. I think some girls actually enjoy getting fucked in the ass. But at any rate, I digress. The point is, it was a biological function with using condoms as it's sort of a not really a modern idea. Condoms have been around for hundreds of years. So the video was not pornography. But if you look at it and you get turned on, then that's on you. It doesn't make the video pornography any more so than it was before you looked at it. It's just simply a representation using a real male person with a real hard on in front of a camera. The video itself is just an illusion. There's no person there. It's a video. It's like a digital thing on your computer screen. And it's like, I'm sorry, but the guy isn't still standing there. He's not standing inside your monitor or inside your phone screen or however you look at it, or however you're viewing it. And maybe you're looking at it in a doctor's office. I don't know why they don't show things like that in doctor's office. It should be like a doctor's office should have little rooms, where you could go in and just watch, medical and health videos about human being function, and so you can. I want to know how to put a condom on my dick. I don't know. I've never done it before. I've never seen anybody else do it. Well, I have many times, including watching myself do it, but. Some 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy is saying, I probably should know how to do that. And they may or may not teach me how to do that anywhere, like in public schools or what have you. Which is not right, people. They should be doing that. I really think so. So you're looking, and I don't know, how am I going to learn? I mean, I can ask my dad, maybe he could show me. He might be a little shy about that. I don't know why, you shouldn't be. It's a dad's job to teach his sons. Hey, son, you're like 10, 12 years old. You're going to start getting hard-ons if you haven't already, and you're going to play with that little baby, and you're going to enjoy it. And it's going to feel good, and you're going to spit some shit out. You're going to spit some cum out there, and it'll be messy, and you'll figure out how to prevent that from being too noticeable on your bed sheets in the morning by your mother, or whatever, when she comes to wash the sheets in the laundry on Monday. I'm speaking from personal experience. At any rate, not pornography, just representing reality, what is and what goes on in the human condition. All right. If I want you to get turned on, I will write. I write porn. I do. There goes heavy equipment again. They must be digging out the ditches or something up the road. The thing is, I go and where can I see this? Well, at the present moment, I don't think you can go into any doctor's office or in the library, public library, and say, I want to see the video of how to put a condom on. And go to the doctor's office. Doctor, show me how to do this. Doctor can say, okay, there's a room there, there's a monitor and TV, and there's, you can go in and just push play, and it'll show you how to put a condom on. All right. You can learn. It's educational. I think if people wanted to be better lovers, they should have some knowledge and experience, visual experience, and educational knowledge of what human beings do with their vaginas and their dicks. There's nothing bad about that, nothing wrong with that. It's very useful. So, videos like that should be readily available, and teenagers should be seeing them. And that's another thing. Oh, that's a child. They shouldn't be seeing that. That's just about the most idiotic concept I've ever heard of in my life. I mean, that's just downright stupid. And if you believe that, that person's under 18, they're a child, and you're an idiot, because that's not true. Children are under 12, pre-pubescent. Once you hit puberty, you become an adolescent. And that's when. Universally acknowledged as being around 12. So, boy, girl, you know, oh, I'm getting boobies. Boy, damn, I woke up with a heart on this morning. Wonder what that means. Wonder what that's for. It seems like it's pretty natural. And it feels good to play with that baby and let it spit. All right, so you know you're not a child if you're, sorry, if you got tits and you got hair around your pussy. I know you girls like to shave that nowadays. It's some sort of trendy thing, but hey, I can take it or leave it. It has a purpose for being there, perfectly natural. But if you want to shave it off, go ahead. I know men shave around their genitals. Won't tell you if I do or not. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Anyway, it's my business. It's my junk. Shave if I want to. However, I think we need more educational videos, and I think that if you're watching two people have sex, and you've never seen anything like that, you've never done anything like that yourself, and you're like 14-year-old boy, and you're like, you know what? I got a dick, and I like to play with it, and I'm thinking girls are turning on to, they turn me on. I mean, come on, let's say it. If just being turned on by looking at something is pornography, then if you're a kid and you're going to school and you're sitting there in class and there's some girls there, like about maybe like half of the kids are girls and half are boys, and you're one of the boys and you're looking at the girls, and and there's that cute one sitting across the aisle from you in school in your history class or biology class, and she kind of making you get some tingling in your pants, and you're looking at her and you're saying, she's got tits. I mean, she's wearing a shirt and pants, but shit, I can tell she's got tits because there's a couple of bulges in the front of her chest under her shirt, and pretty obvious. Girl's got tits. She's a woman. Or transitioning from child into adulthood by way of puberty and adolescence. You're getting turned on by this girl. I remember being in high school, and there was Darlene, sat across the way from me. Practically every day after that class, when the bell rang, it's like I had to put my textbooks in the notebook in front of my pants to hide the fact that I had a hard on. To walk out of class like that without anyone noticing it would have been embarrassing, I would think. Shouldn't be, but it is. When society, when human beings, particularly in America, actually grow up and start acting like, intelligent human beings, that won't be a problem. They'll be, oh, well, it's natural, it happens. At any rate, I was looking at her. She had her clothes on. She was fully dressed. She had on a top, a blouse. She had on a skirt, or back in my day they were called something. What were they called? Culottes. They looked like skirts, but they were seamed up in the middle towards the crotch. They were like baggy shorts today. Baggy long short. Shorts are not really very short anymore, except unless you're wearing hot pants or something. But anyway. I was looking at her, and I was lusting, and nothing wrong with that. Wasn't prompted to rape her or anything. I just thought, gee, that's a girl, and she's cute, and I like what I'm looking at. And damn, there goes my dick again. Up, 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 pressing against the front of my jeans. All right, so in my mind, that girl was pornography. Now, she didn't intend for me to get turned on. Maybe. She came to school dressed pretty nice, and she's got, her tits are pressing out against her shirt. Sometimes you got a little hint of a nipple erection going on there. It's like, oh yeah, turning me on. Well, the pornography in that is in my head and in my pants. And that happens. If you're a 15-year-old boy and you're looking at a girl, let's say you're at the swimming pool on the beach and she's wearing a bikini and, pretty obvious she's got some tits behind that little bit of fabric there, and she's got a vagina, underneath that little bikini bottom, which is pretty tight. Camel toes. Yep, she's got a slit there. You got to turn on there. If you get a turn on with that, buddy, that's your mind is pornography. Perfectly natural thing. It's the way it works. It's the way it is. It's the way it does. So, all this hysteria over pornography is just, we're just, as a society, America is like going backwards towards the Middle Ages at a very rapid pace, and it's scary. You'd think people would be like, I'm not going to be like a freaking dumbass, freaking middle-aged dumbass person. I'm going to progress and be smarter than they were. I'm going to act, more like a real human being with some sense and, with some intellect and with some common sense, really. So my point is, nothing wrong with pornography. It's everywhere. It's just a part of life. And if I didn't want to turn you on, if the girl really wanted to turn me on, if the girl's intention, that girl in school I'm talking about, if she really wanted to turn on the boys and get them sexually aroused, she could wear a nice provocative little top, like a tank top, cut real low, showing a little cleavage, showing a little top of the tits, I know I use the word tits a lot. I like it. It's a nice word. Breasts. I like breasts, too. A little harder to say than tits. Tits just rolls right off the tongue. Tits. Breasts. Breasts. It takes a little more effort. It's a good word, breasts. I like breasts. I like the word. I love all words, actually. I'm a word master. But anyway, she could say to herself in the morning, I'm going to wear something sexy to school. I'm going to wear this thing that's going to show a little cleavage, and maybe a little top of my breasts are going to peek out over the tank top, so the guys can see it. And she says, I want to turn a guy on. I want to attract one. I want to get one of them football players, one of them jocks to notice my tits. And he does, and he gets hard on, and she's saying, wow, I got power. That would be, in her mind, that would be her intentionally producing an image in this guy's eyes, the jock's eyes, that turned him on. So that would make her intentionally being pornographic, wouldn't it? So you don't need magazines or videos on the internet. You don't need all that pornography to get turned on and have a pornographic kind of reaction to something that you see. Just walk around the mall. There's a beautiful woman. She's got a nice outfit. Shows off her breasts very well. A lot of revealed skin there. Tight pants. Real tight pants. You see a camel toe there in that woman. She's walking like, whoa. She's standing there, legs kind of apart. Looking sexy. Yep. It's a turn on. So you don't need, Playboy magazine or Hustler or sex.com on the internet. You can get turned on just by thinking about it, actually. I used to. I'd get a hard on just thinking about a pussy or tits or a girl, into her whole package, I'm not objectifying I'm not objectifying women. I'm not sexualizing people. That's just stupid. They're already sexual. That's what they are. Human beings are sexual creatures. Alright. I kind of went over my limit here. I'm going to have to edit this, looks like. So, got to stop here. Put in another recording machine there and continue this on another episode. Alright? I'll see you on the other side.